Hey guys, it's Mimo. And yes, finally we're doing it. We're making our first YouTube video. And there's no way I could have not shared this crazy story about this epic yet crazy out the wazoo trip I just had on this Carnival cruise ship. Stay tuned for the story. I know you guys are going to be like, no way, this can't be a real story, right? No, it's all 100% real. I promise. Okay, so let's start the story off. I'm gonna start on the first day and work all the way to the last day. So, me and my best friend flew to Miami. So, we get to Miami, and the whole day, it's it's storming. It's a stormy, rainy day in Miami Beach. So, we're walking around in the rain, trying to figure out like where to eat. We couldn't check into our hotel because we took the first flight out of Atlanta. So we got to Miami at like 7 in the morning. So we just walking around trying to, see what Miami Beach has to offer. But it's raining, it's flooding, and we're walking around in ponchos the whole day, just trying to find things that locals have recommended we go to. One thing I noticed about Miami Beach that I didn't like was, first off, the food there is so expensive. And yes, I know. We were on Miami Beach, so it makes a little more sense in hindsight. But it was way, 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 way more expensive than I would have imagined. We ended up going to this like diner restaurant, and the food was okay. It wasn't a lot of food. It was just, simple breakfast, pancake and like literally egg. And then my best friend had like a croissant sandwich. And the total was like $50. It's insane. So that's the first thing I noticed about Miami that I don't like. The food there is so expensive. And while we're walking around, I realized, oh man, I totally forgot a part of my outfit. So I thought it'd be cute. So this was my bachelor trip. I'm getting married in August, and so I figured, April would be a good time to go on a cruise. Spring break's over. The prices were pretty good at that time to go on a cruise. And so I made these like, planned outfits. We had like crop tops and biker shorts, black biker shorts, and me, being the genius I am, packed the night before and completely forgot my biker shorts. So I had to find reasonable biker shorts in Miami Beach. And we didn't have a car, and it was raining cats and dogs outside. But luckily we found a rainbow, and I was able to get some shorts there. So we weren't able to check into our hotel called the Penguins, really cute, right on the Miami Beach. We weren't able to check in until maybe around 2. So between like 8 and 2, we were just stumbling around in the rain, walking around in Miami. So we finally get to our hotel. It's like 2:30, almost 3 in the afternoon. And our room's really cute. I'll make sure to insert like pictures and videos of what I took because I really like this hotel. It was really cute, it was very clean, and the room was spacious. And then I checked my phone, and it's like disaster just was just trying to pin itself to my trip this whole time. From Miami all the way to the end, this trip was just like laced with miniature disasters throughout. So remember, like I said, it's raining cats and dogs in Miami. I thought it was a hurricane, but it was just a crazy storm. And Southern Florida has two major airports. It has MIA and then it has Fort Lauderdale. And it turns out Fort Lauderdale got flooded, and all flights going in and out of Fort Lauderdale by like 4 o'clock that day were grounded. They weren't sending out any flights, nothing could land. So one of my friends who's joined us on the trip, she's flying from LA to Fort Lauderdale. And while they're like midway in their trip, their pilot lets them know that, hey, um, yes, we're like halfway to Florida, but we can't land in Fort Lauderdale. So we're gonna go to Tampa, and then you gotta find your way to wherever you're going. Good luck. So once she gets to Tampa, she lets me know what's going on. And so I'm low key. I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, how are we gonna get you from Tampa to Miami in a few hours? Because our cruise left the next day, and we wanted to be at the port by like 10 or 11 a.m. So we were just kind of figuring like, this is very, very strange. This is not good. So that's one miniature disaster already. Second disaster, one of my sisters is joining us on the trip as well, and she's flying from Canada to she's supposed to fly to Fort Lauderdale as well. And she's in Canada, she's on her flight, ready to take off. And the pilot's like, nope, sorry, we can't go anymore. The flight has been canceled, we're going back to the gate. So now she has to figure out a way to get from Canada all the way to Miami. And this is like now 7
The
p.m.
cruise.
So my sister is like, hey, I'm gonna do everything I can to get to Miami tonight. So luckily, other passengers who had their flight canceled let her know that there was another flight to Miami, but she had to buy a whole new ticket. So I guess third disaster. So I'm pretty flustered and I'm nervous because I'm really scared everyone's not gonna make it on time for the next morning for the port. So me and my best friend say, okay, like this is very stressful. Let's go get some dinner. And we went to this really cute Mexican place. The food was pretty good. Um, yeah, it was pretty good Mexican food. Not your traditional like Tex-Mex. It was a little different. It was good. And then after that, we went and got ice cream. Well, so we got some gelato, and we had to walk around. At this time of night, it was like maybe 8:30 or so, and it wasn't raining as much. It was a little bit of drizzle, and it was a beautiful, calm, breezy Miami night. So we walked around Miami Beach and got to see a lot of the architecture. It was there. And we also went to the liquor store to get some wine for the cruise. Keep that in mind. Remember, I went to the liquor store. I'm gonna go more into details about that, but remember, I went to the liquor store. Okay, bought 4 bottles of not alcohol, 4 bottles of wine. So I was thinking, well, no, not all 4 bottles were for me, but I was gonna split it with the other girls, for dinner time, or if we wanted, just a little pick me up. Because cruise alcohol is, to me, it's expensive. $12 for one drink. That's not even, you know, strong. It's watered down alcohol. Is not it. Is not it for me. No, it's too expensive. So we got our alcohol, we got our gelato, we're heading back to our hotel, and it's now maybe around 12 or so. And so I check in on the other girls, right? So there is a total of 7 of us. So far, me and my best friend, there's 2 of us. We are in Miami, and then there's one more person who's also in Miami. So that's 3 out of 7 is in Miami. Fourth disaster. My other friend who's flying from Pennsylvania, well, from the Philadelphia airport to to Fort Lauderdale. Um, she called us at around, I want to say like 1:30 or 2 in the morning because a couple hours have passed now. So we're thinking we haven't heard anything from her. Maybe she's good. She calls us around 1:30 or 2 in the morning, letting us know that her flight got canceled. So now we have maybe 8 hours between when we have to leave on the cruise and her getting to Florida, which is not impossible because Pennsylvania, I mean, it's the northern part of the US, but a flight from Philadelphia to Florida shouldn't be more than like 5 hours. So we were trying to figure out how were we going to, get that to fix itself. So that's the next disaster. My sister finally lands in Miami. She had to take another airline to Miami, but she landed. And then my friend I was telling you guys about, who flew from LA, and she was able to find a last minute Greyhound bus ticket, um, to Miami. So she's on her way to Miami. My sister is there, and then our there's one person on the cruise. I'm not sure if I should mention them, but they're part of the story. So I'll just follow me. Let's go with it, right? So they also fly from Atlanta. They reach their flight, shout out to Delta. Delta Airlines really has it together. They usually, from my experience, don't have a lot of cancellations. So they usually, help you figure things out. So this person got to Miami on time. No real hiccups. So that is 6 of us that's now on our way to Miami or in Miami, right? And like I mentioned, there's one other friend of ours who is flying from Philadelphia to originally Fort Lauderdale. Her flight got canceled due to the airport being flooded and shut down pretty much for the whole night. Well, pretty much the whole airport was closed till like midday the next day. So almost 24 hours, the airport was a no land zone. And we're trying to figure out how to get her to Miami. And so all the flights that she could find, none of them were gonna make it on time for the cruise. So luckily my future mother-in-law, she is a cruise travel planner, and she helped us to put together this cruise. And so we did contact her, she let us know that my friend could join us. Um, she called the cruise line, and Carnival said, yeah. And again, this is a really, really important part of the story, right? Carnival said, yes, this passenger is going to miss their original onboarding or embarkment port of Miami due to, natural disaster at the airport. This person can board in Key West because our itinerary was Key West and then Cozumel. It was only a 4-day cruise. It's like it's a shorter cruise. So Carnival said, and she called multiple times, yes, this passenger can embark at Key West if they don't make it to Miami due to this natural disaster. So I'm like, okay, cool, good. Everybody's counted for. Our one friend's gonna join us in Key West. Everyone else is gonna make it to Miami on time. So by this time, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, and everybody is finally in Miami, except one person from Philadelphia. So we get up, take showers, put on our outfits. I made sure to put some pictures. We put on our outfits. We all match. I'm in my white bride shirt. It says "Te amo tequila," and everyone else is in this rose desert pink. We're all in black shorts with sneakers. And then the second was for breakfast at this Cuban restaurant, like 100 feet away, if that much, from the hotel. So we take our turns and we go and rotate and have breakfast. Again, food was all right. And one of the things I noticed that I also don't like about Miami, maybe it's just also Florida, the tip is included before you even get the check. So our service, I did notice this as well. They kind of took their time. We literally had to find our own tables. We were like our own hosts and our own servers. The server was slow, and they didn't really check back on you because they knew, oh, my tip's already included in the bill, so why worry about you? So was not feeling that for sure. And again, the food was meh. I had an omelet with plantains. I love plantains, and it was it wasn't good. It was expensive, very expensive. So we eat breakfast, call our Ubers. We had to take 2 Ubers because there were 7 of us, and we all had one, almost 2 suitcases each. Uber. And did we get to the port at 11? No, we did not. We got there maybe closer to 12:30, but it was still good. A good time. Our cruise didn't leave till 3:30. So we had plenty of time, almost 2.5, 3 hours left between when we got on and when we actually debarked. when we actually like left the port of Miami. So we get on, and I'm like, oh, we made it on. We took pictures. We had like our own little photo shoot about my camera, and we had our own like little photo shoot, and it was fun. That part was really fun. We did, but we were missing one person, so we're kind of bummed out. But we're like, oh, it's all good. She's gonna come to Key West, and we're gonna see our girl, and we're gonna like, have fun, and our cruise is gonna be great. So we got on the boat, and also I must mention this is, let's see, maybe like 4 out of 4 or 5, 6, 7. Yeah, like 4 out of the 7 people in the group, in the Bachelorette group, that this is their first cruise ever. So this is like a whole new experience for them, and so I was so excited to show them around, because I've been on a lot of cruise. Like the family, like my new family, the family I'm marrying into, they're a cruising family. Like my future in-laws have been on, like, no joke, like, no joke, 80 cruises. They've been on a lot of cruises. They're like platinum on every cruise line. So while, since me and my fiance have been dating, we've been on maybe like 6 or 7 cruises together. So I'm pretty, well trained on like how cruises are and how they're supposed to go and what's normal, what's not normal. But when we got on, everything was good. I was like, oh, this is how this works. This is where you take your pictures. This is how we drop off our bags. This is the elevator. Just showing them around. I've never been on this specific Carnival ship before. I've been on only one Carnival ship, and that was my first cruise ever. And this is when so that was my first cruise. My first cruise was actually a Carnival cruise. So I figured this also one of the reasons why I chose Carnival. I figured it's a good, Carnival is not like the most well-oiled machine cruise line, I think. But I think it's a good place to start if, you're just cruising for the first time. So we get on, everything's good, everyone's happy, I'm happy, and they let us know our rooms were ready so we could bring our bags on, because it was after 12 and the rooms were open. So our rooms, we wanted originally like connected rooms so we can like, all kind of share and be together. But we were only able to find rooms at the time we were booking for rooms in the same hallway, but there were like a door or 2 doors in between each. So it wasn't too bad. We were still like pretty much right next to each other. And my sister had, her room in the middle, and then the other 6 of us, 3 and 3 in each room, split the rooms on the end of her room with 1 or 2 doors for other guests in between those rooms. So I go, put my stuff down, like, whoa, we made it on. I'm excited. Can't wait to like maybe, have a drink and, show everybody around and eat some good lunch. And I'm looking forward to the sail away party. I'm so happy at this point. I'm like, oh, the disasters of yesterday are behind us. We're good. So I'm thinking to myself, let me go to guest services, because I know guest services line can be long. Let me just go real quick before everyone else joins the line. Just figure out about my friend who's joining us in Key West. Like, what time should she get to the port? 'Cause I don't know what time we're getting to the port. And she's flying to Key West from Pennsylvania, or from Philadelphia specifically. So let me find out. I don't know what time we're getting to Key West, and I want to, before I lose mobile service, let her know, what the plan is and where to meet us, and what to expect, because also this was her first time going on a cruise. So I get to get services, and guys, this line is no joke. Like an hour long line. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, why is this line so long? Like I said, I've been on about 6 to 7 cruises before this one, and I've never seen on the first hour of being on the cruise the guest service line being this long. Sometimes the line is long at the end of the cruise, because you get your bill. You're like, wait, I did not realize I had all these drinks and all these charges. But no, it was just literally the first hour. We didn't even leave the port yet, and the line was at least an hour long. That was really strange to me. I'm like, that's very weird. So we're in the line, and they have like crew members coming up to us asking like, hey, what do you need? Just to make sure the questions aren't redundant. But then again, like I said, this is strange. I've never experienced where I've been on a cruise the first day, first hour, and the line wraps around itself multiple times. And so we told guest service, we just want to find out about our friend, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, cool. All right, well, that's a valuable questions I don't have the answer for. So you got to ask guest service about that. And then the other members of the party, they find us. They're like, hey, where are you guys? Like, hey, we're in the guest service line. So they come down. They're like, oh my God, our rooms are disgusting. I'm like, what? They're like, our rooms are dirty. I'm like, no, like, what do you mean they're dirty? Like, we just got on the boat and, well, the cruise, and they told us our rooms were, we got our key cards, and they told us we were good to go. Our rooms were clean and we can go in. They're like, no, our rooms are dirty. So here's where the disaster. I thought the airport flooding and it raining cats and dogs and everybody having messed up flights besides, people from Atlanta flying into Miami, was the peak of disaster. But no, I was wrong. We were all very wrong. This is now, not the, maybe, I don't know if I would say the tipping point, but it's close. This is like, it's going up the mountain of like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this cannot be real life. So my sister is like, hey, yeah, my room is disgusting. First of all, there's a used hairy razor in my shower. I'm like, there's a what? Yes, there is. You got that right. There is a dirty, used razor in her shower. And she said that her room just didn't look clean. It looked like they cleaned it. The bathroom looked dirty still. I'm like, wow, okay. That's not good. That's weird. I'm like, I wonder if this is why the line is so long. Are other people having these issues? And then my other groups of friends from the other room at the end of the hallway are like, yeah, our room is dirty. First of all, we were opening the cabins trying to put, our clothes away and stuff. And there's dirty clothes from past passengers, including dirty undies, and swim trunks with stuff, body fluids and stuff in it. I'm like, body fluids, yes. In the undergarments stuck under the bed and in the cabinets. So clearly you can't put your stuff in there because it's dirty. There was dirty clothes with body fluids on it in the cabinets and under the bed. So I was like, oh heck no, 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 Carnival. What is going on? And so I'm calling my mother-in-law, and I'm like, "Hey, we're having a lot of these issues. Our rooms are dirty. Like, is there something going on with the ship?" And she's like, "Let me find out. Let me call and see, what's going on." And so I'm just, listening to people around me talk, and they're just like, I hear whispers in because like I said, there's crew members walking around trying to ask people like, hey, why are you in line? Because this line is strangely very, very, very long for us being on the cruise. We didn't even leave port yet for an hour. Very strange. And I hear little whispers, and people are like, yeah, room's nasty, room's dirty. I'm like, oh no. It seems like there's a lot of people in this line whose rooms are dirty, and no one's leaving the line. Like, the crew members are going from person to person to person, asking, hey, why are you in line? And nobody's leaving the line because the crew members are like, okay, well, that's a valid thing. Well, next person, next person. So now it's like 1:30, almost 2, and we get finally to the desk concierge, and they look exhausted already. I'm like, oh no, we just got on here and you guys look tired. And we told them like, hey, first thing, we're asking about our friend. We got the go from Carnival. My mother-in-law, she's a cruise agent. She called Carnival and multiple agents. Even a manager told her, yeah, you can have this one passenger who missed their flight due to natural disaster, act of God, weather occurrence, get on the ship in Key West. We just want to find out, what time should our friend get to Key West so we can, coordinate with her. She can get on the cruise. Does she need any additional documents or anything like that? Like, how would we go about getting her on the ship the next morning? And they're like, oh yeah, she can join. And this is from a manager, by the way. We're talking to a guest service manager. And he's like, yeah, she can get on the ship, but she just has to pay the $1,000 fine. I'm sorry. I thought I thought maybe I was just not hearing him correctly. And I said, "Sir, what? Repeat that again. Did you just say $1,000 fine?" He said, "Yeah, it's part of the Jones Act. Um, a passenger that doesn't get on the port doesn't get on the port at the correct embarkment has to pay $1,000 fine." Well, actually, he's like, "Well, it's not 1,000, but it's like 990 something dollars or 900 and whatever dollars." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. I think you're mistaken. We have a connection talking to Carnival, and they told our connection that no, there's nothing like that. She has to get on. She had to pay for the cruise." I'm like, "Sir, no, no, no. She had to pay for the cruise. She has documents. She's a guest." But it's just she, like I said, airport got flooded. She couldn't join the cruise. She missed her flight. Well, the flight got canceled. She missed it. The flight got canceled. So she needs to get on. They told us KeyWest. Said no. She has to pay the fine. And I'm like, okay, I never heard of this thing before. What is the Jones Act? Can you give me a printout of it and the fine? Like, what's the fine for? I don't understand. She had to pay for her cruise. And he said, "Oh, I don't have a printout." I'm like, "Okay, well, where are you getting the information from?" He's like, "Oh, the local officers at the port gave it to us." Okay, can you give me a copy of it or the email? Could you email it to me or a website, or is there somebody else I can talk to? He's like, "No, there's nobody you can talk to, only me. And I can't print it out. I can't give it to you. We get it from somebody at the port." And I'm like, "Okay, can that person give it to me?" No, they can't. Okay, so you're telling me we have to pay you or Carnival $1,000 fine, but there's no proof of this fine exists. There's no printout of what this thing is, why, how, and if it even if it applies to our situation. How do I know you're not trying to exploit me? Like, this makes no sense. He's like, "Well, you have to trust my word." I'm like, "No, I want a printout of it." So I Google it because we're still in the port, we have service, luckily. And so I'm Googling it and I'm like, okay, I see the Jones Act and I'm looking at the US Customs website, but there's another major problem, sir. This 900 whatever, almost $1,000 fine you are telling me, I do not see it on the US government customs borders website. So either the government's lying to me or you're lying to me. He's like, "I'm not lying. How dare you accuse me?" I'm like, "I'm not accusing you, but what you're telling me, the US government doesn't even agree with you." So I'm very confused as to why and how this fine and fee occurs. And I'm reading the act, and it's not for people, it's for boats. I'm like, "She's not a boat, she's a person, she's not." And he's de-embarking, trying to explain it, and what he's trying to tell us does not match any of the verbiage on the US Customs Borders website. So I'm like, "Sir, I'm so confused. What you're telling me, the US government does not agree with you. What I have in writing here does not make sense." He's like, "Just go to your room." I'm like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "I need a printout." He's like, "I'll send a printout to your room when I find one." I'm like, "What do you mean when you find one? I need an answer now. I don't understand what you mean. I'm so confused. None of this makes sense." And it's also, I'm like, on this website, as of 2022, it says the fine is like 400 and something dollars, not no 900, almost $1,000. And he's like, "Yeah, just go back to your room. We'll get the answer to you when we get it." I'm like, "You're so rude. This is crazy. Carnival, like, this is not good. This is horrible. This is horrible." And then we start to complain because everybody meets up at the guest service line, and we're talking about our room. Would like, our "Sir, rooms re-cleaned, re-sanitized, and also we want some kind of compensation or onboard credit for this inconvenience." And they're like, "We can't do anything about that. We can clean your room. That's about it. And we can't clean it right now. We'll get to it soon." I'm like, "What does soon mean? That could be an hour, 2, 3 hours from now." But like, we're busy and the ship is full, so you'll have to wait for guests or housekeeper to come back around to clean your room. I was so mad. I was so upset. We were all upset. And then one of my friends from LA, right? She was telling them, like, "I don't feel safe in my room. I feel like this is unhealthy. I don't feel comfortable." And the no joke, the guest service lady says, "Well, do you need me to get medic for you?"
we can get like you a doctor or something, or call the medics for you. Ma'am, that's not what we're saying. That's clearly not what we're saying. You're being sarcastic. You're being sarcastic. And they're like, no, we can clean it. Next in line. And the person behind us had the same complaint. Their room were dirty too. And the person in front of us, their room were dirty too. So at this point, I'm just like, I hate this. I hate Carnival right now. I hate you guys. This is absurd. This is embarrassing. This is crazy. I've never seen a cruise ship like this operate like this before. And also all the staff. I know, cruise. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the treatment of how cruise ships work their workers is quite extreme. Working in the cruise industry is tough. Is a lot of work. It's hard work. It's tough work. They work pretty much around the clock. They don't have days off. They have hours off, but there's no days off. They work every day, almost
A few
all
hours
day,
off to sleep and
16,
eat.
17
That's
hours.
it.
So we could see on their face, like all the people get services. Also, we're walking around the ship. Everybody looks drained. Like everyone looks exhausted. Nobody's welcoming. No one's smiling. No one's saying, "Hey, welcome aboard. We're so glad to have you." No, like the photographer maybe, and actually he had an attitude too. He was kind of like, "Okay, hurry up, hurry up. I got other people to take. Hurry up." But we're a large group. We need time to like put our bags down and stuff like that. But he was really impatient with us. But we noticed everybody on the ship looked exhausted and tired and irritable, and nobody was smiling, nobody was welcoming, no one was even asking, "Hey, do you need help? Are you good? Like, welcome aboard. We're so happy to help you or happy to have you." No,
None of that.
and yeah, at this point, I'm like over the cruise already. I'm just like, it's been 2 hours. I'm ready to go home now. Yeah, so it was sad. So we're on the
So
phone with U.S. Customs, Carnival, my mother-in-law, and my friend who is about to get on her flight to Key West to kind of let her know what they said. Oh boy, disaster number 3. So we call Carnival and we're getting them run around. They're like, no, nothing about that. I called my mother-in-law. She said she called Carnival again. They told her that they never told her anything about anybody being able to get on the cruise or a passenger being able to embark on a cruise outside of the original port. So we're just like, wait, our friend already bought another hotel to stay in at Key West for the night, and she bought a ticket already that costs upwards of over $500 from Philadelphia to Key West already. And telling me that this is just we made it up in our head. They're like, yeah, you made it up. We never told you that. And so my mother-in-law is like, no, I have this person's name and the manager name who told me this. And you guys record your call for a fact. So we run those tapes and, you clearly told me this. And they're like, we don't record our calls. The person you're talking about doesn't exist here. And no manager told you this. You're making it up. And it's like, we're not making this up. We can't get in touch with the customs office. Their lines are busy, or it's like the automated system's going around in circles and circles and circles and circles. So that's a dead end. Oh boy. And so my friend at this point, she's just like super stressed. We're super stressed, and we're like, we don't understand any of this. This makes no sense. Carnival is literally like, is this? It was just a disaster. They weren't ready for this cruise. The cruise ship, the staff, the ship. I'll go more to that. The ship itself wasn't ready for new passengers. The staff needed some extra time to like rest or something. They looked exhausted and tired and bothered and annoyed by us. And Carnival was all over the place. Onboard information, Carnival headquarters information, guest service information, none of it matched about the same questions. And a lot of the guests are walking around kind of like confused and dazed, and a lot of little kids are running around, and it's just it's ratchet. It's crazy. So we're about to leave port now. And it's now about maybe let's see, it's maybe around like 3:30, so when we're supposed to leave. So I'm losing service. I told my friend, hey, just get to Key West, we'll figure it out in the morning. Just go to Key West. She's gonna get on her flight. So And so I go upstairs and I notice in the end of the hallway, because I bought 4 distinctive bottles of wine, I see one of the bottles empty in front of one of the rooms. And I'm like, that's strange. Isn't that? Yeah, that's one of the bottles I bought. Why is it empty? And who went through my stuff? In my head, I'm just like, this is strange. So I go to the room. I'm like, I need to wash my. I need to go find something to eat. I'm hungry. I didn't eat much of breakfast. It was not good. It was mediocre. And I was hungry and I was angry. I was very angry. And so we're like, yeah, let's go get lunch. And we do see some housekeepers, recleaning the rooms. I'm like, okay, I guess they've made it upstairs to clean the rooms again. So I go to lunch, and like I said, the ship is just like, it's chaos and it's dirty. So we're walking around. I'm like, okay, I'm start documenting things because Carnival, I'm not playing with you. We're not playing games no more. And I'm not gonna be nice a lot of little things. And I'll make sure to insert some pictures, right, and some footage. There's so we're by the elevator trying to go up to like the Lido deck, right, to where like the food is and stuff. I look behind one of the little like walls by the elevator. There's like rotten fruits and like a old cup back there. And I'm like, why is there rotten fruit? We just got on the ship. Why is there a rotten banana and a old gross cup in the middle of the hallway behind one of the little like wall things in the center? That's nasty. Why is that there? And then we're walking around a little more because elevators were really busy. So we had to take like the stairs to one of the levels to get on the elevator to go to the Lido deck again. And there's like a clump of like random hair on one of the walls. And I'm like, why is there a random piece of stringy, nasty hair on the floor or on the wall? It was really, it made me nauseous. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is gross. So I finally make it to the Lido deck and it's just cramped. There's people everywhere. So we passed Guy's Burger. I don't eat beef or pork. And I didn't want to burger. And so Guy's Burger is not the burger itself, but like the condiment stand is disgusting. There's mustard sprayed everywhere. There's stuff all over the floor. All the like condiment like holders are empty. The pickles are in the onions with the mix, and it looks like just chaos. The deck is slippery. There's pool water over the floor. I'm like, this is literally like not even 4 p.m. We've been on this cruise ship for like 3 hours tops. Tops. And it looks like we're on day 5 off a cruise. Why? And then I walk through the dining room to get to our side to see what else was open. And there's like little kids putting like the little cups under like the automated machines. And there's water all over the floor. I literally almost slipped. There's water and juice all over the floor, and the staff's trying to like clean it and stop the kids from like poking the fountain thing. And it's just like it looks like a little kiddie pool inside the dining room. It's chaos in the hallway that you're trying to pass to go through to the other side of the Lido deck. And I'm like, oh my god, this cannot get any worse. But it does. It gets worse. Of course it does. And at this point, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm exhausted. I gotta sit down. I'm so disappointed and upset and frustrated and tired and angry and hot. Did I mention it was hot? And we get so finally I found like a little table in like a dark little corner. That sounds pathetic, but yes, it was a dark little corner. But I could see like the ocean of Miami. I could see us leaving, and me and my friend were talking, and she's like, "Yeah, this also was her first cruise." I'm like, "I'm so sorry, it's your first cruise. This blows. This is horrible. This is a horrible cruise already. This is not good." And she's like, "It's okay. Like, the look of the ocean is so pretty." I'm like, "Yeah, the water, Miami beach is really pretty. I'll give Miami that. The beach is beautiful." And so I joined this long line. It was like the sandwich shack place. And I tried to get a sandwich. I'm like, what kind of proteins do you guys have? And like, no joke. The staff started laughing. And they're like, protein? What do you mean protein? And they're like laughing to each other. And I'm like, first of all, that's rude. That's not how you treat your guests on a cruise ship. No, you don't laugh when they ask you questions. Carnival? Carnival. What are you doing? No. No, that's not how you treat people. So I'm like, "Meat, what do you have?" And she's like, "Oh, we have, like, meat." I'm like, "Doesn't answer the question." I'm like, "Do you have turkey? Do you have chicken?" Like, "Yeah, we have turkey, we have turkey." I'm like, "Okay, can I have a turkey sub? Can I have it grilled? I want a panini, please." I made sure to say please. And those are annoyed because she was laughing at me because I asked her what kind of protein do they have. So, and we finally meet back at the table. And I noticed around me, there's like a lot of empty tables with like dirty plates on them, and no one's cleaning them. They're just sitting there and there's like bugs and stuff. And it's like, ooh, it's gross. Gross. And then I do see people, starting to come and clean up, but they will stack them all on one table and just go somewhere else. I guess they had to pull them to clean other places on the cruise. 'Cause like I said, it was rambunctious. There was kids and water and juices and stuff everywhere. It was like being in a little daycare. It was like a daycare, a dirty daycare. I tried to eat the sandwich. I'm like, ooh, this is funny. The turkey was really dry. Like, you ever had turkey that's been in the fridge for a while? And, like, when you heat it up, all the moisture gets sucked out of it, and it was just, like, really gray. I remember the turkey was not pink. It was or, like, it didn't look like quality turkey or quality turkey breast. It was very dry, gray, chewy turkey. So I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna take off the turkey." I love, veggies and stuff, so I took off all the turkey and just put it on the side, and it was great. My friend tasted it, she's like, "Yeah, it tastes funny. It's, like, rubbery. It tastes like chewing gum." Literally, it was chewy. Tomatoes and lettuce, and I went to the guy's burger, condiment stand and took what I could find. Some peppers. There was no mustard, there was no ketchup left. I found a little barbecue sauce, and I put it on the sandwich and ate my sloppy, wet, turkey-less sandwich. I didn't eat all of it, I ate, like, half maybe. It was gross. And so I ate some of my friends' french fries and we kind of talked and I was like, saying like, yeah, this is so stressful. I don't really know what to do about like Key West and we'll have to figure it out. So we're there talking and we look at the ocean and watching. She's watching for the first time as we're going out to sea. We're going further and further away from Miami, and it was pretty. The water was very beautiful, very blue. It looked like the Caribbean. So we're finally out of Miami. We're in the middle of the ocean. Well, not middle, but we're out in the ocean now, far from. You can still see a little bit of land, but we weren't close to land anymore. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going back to the room. I'm hot. I think I want to take a shower and just like de-stress a little bit, maybe like lay down because I'm exhausted. I haven't slept. Like the day before, I was literally trying to figure out how to get everybody to Miami so we could make the cruise because of like Fort Lauderdale situation. So I'm running on like maybe 2-3 hours of sleep. Um, yeah, I'm tired at this point. I'm exhausted emotionally and physically. I'm done. And so I go back to the room and I'm like, wow, my door looks different. And so my best friend who's been maid of honor, she decorated the door. I'll put some pictures and it has like pink, like iridescent glitter, like what do you call it? Like door decorations on the thing. Like it's like the things you walk through, kind of like if you're in like a disco or something. And so I open the door and there's like like the room is decorated and it says like this beach is getting married and my bed's decorated and there's like baskets on the like console or the dresser, like everyone's name on baskets and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. This is really cute. And then like we get dressed up and we have like a little party and I have like a little crown and it was very nice. And we took pictures and I had some water. And at that point I was wondering, where's my wines? Where's the other three? Because like I said, I bought four. One is empty in the hallway. I don't know who drank it and why because they didn't buy it. I bought it, but I mean, I would share with others, but I was never asked. And also, I'm the bride, so wouldn't you ask the bride, "Hey, which wine did you want for yourself since you bought it?" Or you wouldn't take it and drink it yourself, right? Right. Oh boy. And so, that part was fun. We were laughing, and my best friend and some of my other bridesmaids and my other friend, they got me like, because we bought like cases of like a case of ginger ale and some like flavored water, like seltzer water, and I had one of those, and it was fun. We got to finally laugh and smile. And we're also kind of sad too because our friend from Philadelphia, she was missing. I'm like, oh man, she's missing these moments, and that was like the down part. But otherwise, it was really fun. And so then this time it's like 5:30, almost 6. And so we're like, oh, like dinner is around 7:30. Um, so let's get ready. So I'm like, okay, sure, let's get ready. Let me wash my hands, go in the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom, I'm like, this bathroom smells weird. It smells like, I'm not sure if you ever smelled like goats or like goat urine. It smells like a goat peed in here. Why does it smell like a goat peed in the bathroom? It stinks in this bathroom. So I'm like, we didn't take a shower yet. I'm like, we just got on the cruise, so no, and we didn't use the bathroom. Why does the bathroom smell like pee, like very rank pee? So I'm like, let me wash my hands and let me put maybe some like conditioner. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that on a cruise ship or not, but I'm like, let me put some conditioner in the toilet. Maybe I'll make it smell a little better. So I put little conditioner in the toilet and I flush it. And I'm like, oh my god, it smells worse in here. Like you can the smell like hit me in the face. Like the smell was just coming out the toilet. I'm like, oh, it smells really bad in here. So I put more conditioner in the toilet and flush it again. And there's now a lot of water on the floor. A lot. Like literally coming towards me. I'm like, why is there water on the floor? I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I know why there's the toilet is leaking. Disaster number what? 5 or 6. I lost track at this point. I think this is disaster number 7. That's what it's called. Disaster number 7. Sewage and toilet is leaking on the bathroom floor. Well, there's nothing in the toilet, but if there was, it would have been leaking on the floor. That's nasty. That's so gross. So I'm like, of course. Of course, there's toilet water and possibly sewage leaking on our bathroom floor. Perfect. Perfect cherry on the day. Just oh, amazing. I'm so happy. Great. Carnival, you're a mess. So I go in the hallway and I look for like a housekeeper. I'm like, these are the managers, something I could talk to. And he's like, yeah, that guy over there. So I talk to him. I'm like, hey, excuse me, sir. My toilet's leaking. And it's leaking water and sewage or whatever comes out of the toilet. Can you fix this? Also, I think we want a new room. He's like, oh well, we can't. You can go to get services, but I'm pretty sure the ship is booked and full, so we can't switch your room. I'm like, of course not. But he's like, okay, let me take a look. And I have video of this, by the way, of the toilet leaking. And so, he's like, are you sure your toilet's leaking? Maybe you guys took a shower. I'm like, no, we didn't take a shower. I didn't pee on the floor. The toilet's leaking. I think you're making it up. I'm like, okay, come with me. Let me show you. And then I show him. He's like, oh, right. Like, okay, well, you have to leave your room. You need to go, somewhere else while we fix the toilet. Well, because I want to fix it today. I'm like, no, I need to fix now. And also, again, do you have bleach or something? Because I don't want whatever came out the toilet or whatever water is in this sewage system, whatever bacteria came out of it to be on the floor. It's gross. And he's like, we'll clean it up. We'll clean it up. And I'm like, also, I before I noticed the toilet was leaking, I wiped down the shower. Like I bought like Lysol wipes, which I recommend. Always the Lysol wipes with you on a cruise ship. And the Lysol wipe was like dirty. Like I wiped the shower and it was covered in like brown stuff. Like the shower was dirty. It was dirty. It wasn't clean. And I was like, yeah, I want a shower rewash. I want it scrubbed. Not to make demands, but it was gross. It was just it felt grimy. It felt very grimy and unclean. Ready in one room and 4 people ready in another room. This is insanity. What are we doing? So I went to my sister's room and I took a shower there and got ready. And I'm just like, I'm exhausted, I'm stressed, I'm hungry, I'm annoyed, I'm sad, I'm everything besides happy and great at this point. So we get ready, we go to dinner, we're a little bit late. I go back to the room and they're like, there's people in there fixing the toilet or whatever they're supposed to be doing. But also in my head, I'm like, the toilet didn't start leaking. So the guests before were just walking around in here with toilet water over their feet and into the carpet. Nasty. Just nasty. And no one thought to maybe call for help to get the toilet fixed. Just let the toilet leak all over the floor. It's nasty. So we get to dinner. The wait wasn't too long, but I was exhausted and trying to figure out as well what we're gonna do with the stupid Jones Act. They did leave a printout, but they sent it to the wrong room. But we found the paperwork, and it was just like none of this makes sense. All just gibberish, just gibberish. And like I mentioned, dinner was good. The food was great. Servers were fun and lively. They were like the one department that looked somewhat, enjoyed or happy to see us. A lot of the other crew members walking around looked tired, or there weren't many people smiling at you or waving at you or talking to you. Yeah, it was. I felt bad for a lot of the crew members. I could tell they were tired. They said they did send the paperwork, but to the wrong room. But at least I had that paper in my hand, as to what they were talking about. But it still didn't make sense. It was. So we wanted to go to a live show, but we missed it due to like the bathroom situation and getting ready. Also, as the bride, I wanted to, put makeup on. I wanted to, enjoy. And sometimes, when you're having a bad day, putting on some makeup really can heighten and lift your mood. It can make you feel better. So, I made sure to, take my little time, a little few minutes on myself, and put some makeup on. So that was day one. We went to the club after dinner. The club was all right. But yeah, there was these guys. They should took a photo for us. I'll be sure to put the photo up. Took a photo of us together, and then they saw us again. It was like this guy. He was a twin, and he was like talking to us at the club. It was kind of awkward. It was weird. Well, the Carnival Cruise Club for the first night was all right. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty good for a cruise club. A lot of times, most of the cruises I've been on have been mostly Royal Caribbean, and no, the cruise clubs on those ships so far I've been on, not it. They're usually not very lively. But this one was pretty lively. DJ was pretty good. It was a lot of like Latin music. But it was good. It was good. But like I said, I was pretty worn out. And I, realized we were getting to Key West at like 7:30 in the morning, and we weren't able to make any contact with our friend in Key West because I didn't have service. So I went back to my room that finally had a non-leaking toilet. Took my makeup off and went to bed, and I knocked out. And before I went to sleep, we were talking the whole night trying to figure out what ways we could try to get our friend on. And I was like, I pretty much was like, the only choice we really have is to pay that 970 how much dollars, almost $1,000 fine to get her on. There's no other way around it. She already paid a lot of money to get to Key West. So, and she would miss the cruise and have to go back to Pennsylvania, and that's a whole nother flight she has to book. Didn't make sense. So I was like, we're gonna have to just pay the fine, unfortunately. So fast forward, next day, day 2 on Carnival Sunrise from hell. Me and my best friend, because we were all in the same room together, we got up early, and me and my other 2 friends from the room at the end of the hall, we got up. Me and my best friend actually got up early first for everybody and got dressed. And then this day, again, we were doing themed outfits. The first day when we got on was tank top, well, tank tops, back, it was crop tops, biker shorts, sneakers. Second, and dinner was pinks, like anything pink or like rare fuchsia, something in the pink family. And then day 2, because we're in Key West, was, of course, key lime or something green or neon green. So I had on my green dress, and my friend had on a green outfit. Got off the ship around 7:30.
Did you
I
eat
see,
breakfast?
like, customs, because and, like, police and stuff. So I'm like, well, let me ask them how this thing works. What's the Jones Act? Because all the answers I've gotten from Carnival sounds like they just scrambled words together and made up word salad. And then the government website that they're referring me to, even I Google it, doesn't make any sense. And also forgot to mention my fiance, such a sweetheart. Um, because some people did get the internet package, so we were able to communicate through like Instagram. Um, he was also him and his mom were googling everything and trying to figure out like what carnival, what are we talking about? None of this makes sense. We're like, no, this Jones Act is for boats, not for people.
And
And
some of the
so he found it was like one clause in the act. It was like P something, PVSA or PV something. Um and so it's like that is for people, but also he did mention because Key West is still a U.S. port. It seems like this act, because the U.S. government can only really make laws for inside the U.S. So it seems like it's something that only affects U.S. ports. So like, okay, I need to find out more about this. This is madness. So I go to the port and I see customs, I see police. I'm like, hey, I go up to one of the officers. I'm like, excuse me, I have a question. I explained the situation. I have a friend who, due to the Fort Lauderdale situation, their airport getting flooded, act of God, pretty much what they would call it. Her flight got canceled, and she missed her flight to. She missed the cruise from
it really comes
Miami. We
down.
called Carnival. The officer said, it really comes down to the cruise ship. Um, if Carnival wants to let the person on, they can if they want. It's just if they want to. If that person that day you're dealing with is having a good day or at their mercy, they will let you on.
Uh,
And so he said, "Hey, I have a
Let me give
friend
you her
that works.
number.
She's a customs officer. She knows everything about everything and anything to do with laws, acts, cruise ships, all that stuff." So I get her number and I call her and I'm like, "Hey, so and so gave me your number. Thank you so much for answering. I just have a few questions. Can you explain the Jones Act? And our friend is in this situation. We're not sure what to do because Carnival is saying we owe $1,000 pretty much. We round it up, and the US website says $400 something. So 400 is not equal 1,000. So this math is not mathing. What is happening?" And she explained it. And she said, "Oh, no, they gave you the wrong thing. It's the Jones Act, but what they need to talk to you about is what, like, my fiance told me. It's like PVSA or PSVA, something like that. Some of the PS. I'm bad at acronyms. Excuse me." And she explained that this act, the whole
Was
thing,
all
and created back in like the 1800s. 1800s, guys, over 100 years ago. And it was created at a time when ferries were so popular, and cruise ships were just coming onto the scene as a way for people to get transportation. And so the US government created this act to prevent cruise ships from taking ferry passengers so that the ferry industry wouldn't suffer, or lose customers. Because a cruise is supposed to be from one point to another. It's supposed to be a whole circle, right? You embark in one place, you debark in the same place. So if you split it up between US ports, you're not really going from one embarkment to a full cruise, right? From start to finish. It's being broken up, and they would consider that to be a ferry service. So that's why that act was created in the 1800s. And she did mention like maybe
but
10
however,
years
the act does
ago
say
say that it cannot be more than $1,000. But it's not $1,000 yet, but I'm pretty sure by next year, 2024, it's gonna be probably $1,000. So they've just exploitation. So to let us know that, yeah, that's what that is. In Carnival, the person was trying to explain to you, they got their wires crossed. They mixed up the name with what actually you're supposed to be looking at. It's just, yeah, I do apologize. Like, I apologize on their behalf. They're just explaining it completely wrong to you. But yeah, that's what that is. So at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a little more sense. Do I want to pay $1,000? No, I don't. But what to do? What to do? So yeah, we paid the fine. Yay us! Fun in the sun. Just great.
So yeah, paid the fine, and she
And
was
yeah,
on
that's
the.
how we got our friend on the cruise ship. We had to pay that 970 blah 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 whatever dollars. So we get her on the cruise. She gets her bag. We show her our room and where she's gonna stay because she's staying with me and my best friend. It's three, 3 and 3 and 1, so 7, right? And we're just like, yeah, we're so happy you're here. We're so sorry you missed the first day, but we're just relieved you're here. So we're in Key West. It's probably now around 9:30. We leave Key West at 12. So I'm like, oh, we have a few hours, let's go explore Key West a little bit. We don't have a lot of time. We can't really do an excursion. Everyone else got off the boat, is doing their stuff. They're at bars or just like, sightseeing or walking around, taking pictures and stuff. Because a lot of times this is their first time. Some people on the cruise, this is their first time ever in Key West. And we're not there for a long time. It's a really short port. So we find one more person that was still on the ship, and like, hey, let's go grab brunch. We don't want to eat on the cruise. We want to do something Key Westy. So we find this really cute like brunch spot that's really close to the port, and we share some food and some mimosas. And even that was kind of disaster number 12 or 13. I lost count. My friend, she ordered a lobster, like a lobster omelet, and I don't eat pork either, and my friend doesn't eat pork, and they put pork in her omelet. Yeah, and she ate most of it, and she's like, "Wait, what's this pink stuff?" I'm like, that's pork." She's like, "That's pork." I'm like, "Yeah, that's pork. I know pork. I don't eat it, so I know what it looks like." And she doesn't eat it either. She's like, "This is pork," and so we call the server, and they're like, "Oh no, they mixed up your order. They gave you the one with the pork." I'm like, "Great." So my friend fell sick, and we had to go get her some medicine. And then my maid of honor and one of my other friends like snuck off while we were trying to deal with that. And we went to like a store to because there was like a store closing down across the street. And I think it was like $5 in the store. So we got some like t-shirts and stuff. And while we were doing that, my maid of honor and my other friend, like they went and got me some key lime pie, which was really sweet of them. And we like all like as we walked and rushed back to the cruise ship before it left us, we're like cramming and slamming our face with like key lime pie. It was really good though. It was really good. So thank you to my maid of honor for doing that for me. That was really sweet. And then yeah, we go back to the cruise. By now it's like 11:50, almost 12. We leave at 12:30, I believe. So everybody is trying to get back on the cruise ship, and the line is like forever long. It's a long, hot line. It's the sun is beaming. And then we meet up with all the other parties in the line. Everyone's like, yeah, we're finally all together. Literally, we're all finally together in this hot line. And the other groups said they had an okay time in Key West. I think Iguana, like, Iguana was in the tree, and like, I think my sister got like something on her shirt. The iguana like pooped on her shirt. Disaster number what, 15 or 14? I lost count. So yeah. Again, I think this is all Carnival's fault. I think Carnival told the iguana to do that. I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't put that past them. I'm just kidding, guys. Kinda. Maybe not really. A surprise happened. My maid of honor planned another party for us. And it was like a game. We played this like really fun game. We had to like well, it was two games. We had one game where like we had to name it was like timed, and we had to like name it was like an alphabet game. You had to name like from a word from each alphabetical letter. So that was really fun. And then we did like a secret game where like we traded like everybody wrote secrets down and like traded them trying to figure out whose secret was which. And it was a really, really fun game. And so I'm like, hey, don't we have a fridge? And then I open the fridge. I'm like, these are warm. And then we realize our fridge doesn't work. Of course not. Disaster what? 17? Our fridge was basically storage. We could put our shoes in there for if we wanted to. There was not the fridge does not work. It didn't work. But then I realized there's 2 bottles of wine missing, and I've had no wine. None. Where are my wines? Where did they go? I did see one. One was a sangria, so I got like a little bit of that. But yeah, that's the last one I saw for the day. I'm like, something is up. And then in the background, all of this, there's another major disaster going on, right? So I'll let you in on something, right? So I don't know. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I'm telling you the story of the whole trip. So I'm gonna go the whole way. So I actually had two maids of honors, and now I have one. There was
Maid of
two, now there's
honor.
one. But
So
they were a dishonor. So I removed them from the wedding party and from my life. I think nothing. I know they were pretty toxic and I didn't want them around anymore after this cruise. Um their behavior was a whole nother level of disaster on top of the disaster of what Carnival did to us and the way they treated us. But I think I'll say that for another time. But just wanted to mention, right? While Carnival's disaster is happening to us, their sunset from hell is happening, okay? Um well, sorry, sunset. Their sunrise. I can't even name the ship right. Their sunrise from hell is happening. There's also another personal disaster happening in the background. So keep that in mind too. So double whammy. Double whammy. So we have the party and um my only maid of honor that's, my true maid of honor. She's there, she's a rock star, she's doing great. And then the other maid of honor is chilling, just chilling, not really contributing much to my experience as a bride. Um they seemed annoyed the whole time actually. I know they were also having not the greatest time because of Carnival. Carnival was really messing up big time mess up. And how they handled us on the cruise and just the whole itinerary, how the cruise was put together was just it was messy. Um, Legit the worst cruise I've ever been on by far. I think that also may have contributed to it, but there was other stuff, long term stuff going on in the background. But I got the butt of the stick as the bride. So that was also not fun for me. No, not great. So we'll fast forward over that for another time. And now it's like 5:30. Yeah, 5:30. We got on the ship around 1 because we were. It took forever for everybody to get on the ship. So that was around 1. We had our party. I had a little, mixed drinks. So now it's about 4:30. So it's time to take a shower and time to get dressed. And tonight it's white, right? Well, not white. Everybody's in black. I'm in white because I'm the bride. So I'm in white, and everybody else is in black. So we're finally all together, on sunrise. And it's dinner time. We wanted to go to a show again, but we missed it. I did take a little time to get ready, but also, I'm the bride, and I think I should get a little extra time to, dress up, my makeup on, and feel special, and just make sure I look and feel great. I missed a few shows, and yeah, that sucked. But I didn't realize this ship didn't have as much shows as I'm normally used to. Usually there's like 2 shows per night, but this one, not every night had a show, and when there was a show, it was one time, just one run, and that was it. If you missed it, you missed it. It's like, well, gosh. So we went to dinner. Dinner was great. We were all finally together. I was showing. We were all showing our friend that just got on like how the dinner menu works. So you can pretty much order whatever you want. Carnival now has a rule where you can order like
like how
only
it
2 or 3. I
works
think no more than
and
3. That you can order whatever you want. Pretty much the menu's fair game. Anything you want. It's already paid for, so you can eat whatever you want. So that was fun. And then from there we went to the top deck and we watched The Woman King. We didn't see the whole movie. We saw maybe like 70% of it. And it was nice. The weather was nice. The breeze felt good. And then we all went to the club, and the club was so good. Some people went back to their rooms because they were tired, and then some of us went to the club, and it was epic. It was so good. There was like a twerk battle between this like older lady and this like guy. I think he may have been like a drag queen, but like not dressed in drag. But he was moving like a drag queen. He was killing it, and the whole club came down. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. It was epic. It was great. And the DJ was great. It was a lot of hip hop and reggaeton, and Latin. It was a great fusion. And we were there till probably like 1:30. So we went to dinner around 7:30, and then we went to watch Swimming King. So we left there. Oh, we also saw a few comedy shows. No. It was just like stereotypical jokes, something about stereotypical black people things, like, guys having big things and blah blah blah. A lot of it wasn't funny. It was just like it was a lot of it was distasteful actually. I didn't like it. So we saw like end of one, we saw like a middle to the end, like half of a middle to end, half of a comedy show,
Not
and
good.
mm-mm. And then we went back upstairs, came back, went to we did the club, and best night ever.
So
So it's
good.
night two. The club is popping. Like one of not even just cruise clubs, but one of the best club nights I probably ever had. Ever. So good. So so good. So I will give Carnival that. DJ was great. And so uh yeah, it's like 2 in the morning and a little tipsy. No, very tipsy. And very, very tired. We had the longest day ever. So make it back upstairs, take a shower, go to bed. By this time, it's like 3:30. Next day is Cozumel. So I wanted to do a beach club for Cozumel, but we didn't get to do a beach club. I wanted to make sure as a group we were on the same page as what we wanted to do, but it was hard for us to be on the same page about like beach clubs and stuff. But it was cool. I figured we'd get off and find something to do. And like I said, there's another story going on in the background of this story. Wrap up. Right now, we're just focusing on Carnival and the trifling cruise that they handed us. 'Cause this was ridiculous. But I'll say the other side of this disaster wheel for another story time. So make sure you come back. Okay, come back. And so we get off of Cozumel, we take some pictures. It was hot, but beautiful. I love going to Cozumel. It's one of my favorite places or ports to go to in Mexico for sure. The water, like I said, a lot of my friends on this cruise, this was their first time ever being on a cruise and ever going to Cozumel. And the water under the ship looks like jewelry. It's just like shining. It has this beautiful blue glow, and I love to look at it. It's mesmerizing, and so we all were just there, like, oh my god, beautiful. Love Cozumel, love it. So we get off at Cozumel, we get to the port, trying to figure out what to do about the beach situation. And there was like this situation going on. I remember hearing about it a few months ago where there was like a seaweed issue with like the Gulf of Mexico. Where like there's like abundance or overproduction of like seaweed. So a lot of the ports and beaches are covered in seaweed. So we get to the taxi port, and a lot of the taxi drivers are like, "Yeah, you don't want to go to like this side of the island. It's full of seaweed. You go to the other side of the island, but we can get you to a beach club for like $50." And we're like, "No, that you're overcharging me." So we're there arguing with taxi drivers, jumping from taxi driver to taxi driver about what deal we're gonna get, what we're gonna do. So we finally decide, forget the country club, forget the beach club. We're gonna just we found a taxi driver who gave us a pretty decent deal. And so we did like a little tour. We went to like the tequila showcase place where they showcase the tequila and show you how tequila. Well, they tell you how tequila is made, and then they charge you like $80 for a bottle of tequila, overpriced. And we did that, and we did some tequila tasting, and it was fun. We were a little tipsy, and it was fun. I found a mango, by the way. I love mangoes, and you guys don't know this yet. I haven't mentioned it, but I grew up in Jamaica, and so Cozumel reminds me so much. Um, the atmosphere, seeing all the fruit trees, it reminds me so much of Jamaica. It does. And the ocean is just it all brings me back home, and so it was great. I found a mango. It was waiting for me. I'm convinced it was waiting. That mango dropped and said, "I'm waiting for Mo to come and get me, so she can eat me." And it was a really good mango. It was good. It was so good. I asked taxi driver to stop at like a fruit stand and get me some mangoes. And the mangoes at the fruit stand, they were good. They weren't great, but they were good. I think I paid $2 for like 3 mangoes. Not bad. Or 2 mangoes, something like that. It was like $1 a mango. I'm sure I was overcharged, but whatever. It is what it is. So we get to the beach. He said he's gonna take us to. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It looks like paradise. It's serene and it's beautiful. And like this place, it had like a little like shack for food. Like it had two shacks or like two little like beach restaurants, not shacks, but like two beach restaurants. And one of them had like a swing and people were on the swing swinging. And it just looked like something out of a movie. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And oh, we're at this point. We're just excited. Like we see the ocean and it's turquoise. I have blue. It's like turquoise and
Like the server
dreamy.
comes over and he let us know that, they have like food, so like, okay, cool, we can get some food. But it was expensive. They definitely charged they guys, 3 tacos was almost $13 US dollars, not pesos. 13 US dollars USD for 3 tacos. That's insane. So I saw the menu. I'm like, nope, I will not be buying 3 tacos for $13 plus. He's gonna be accepting tips. So that's let's see, almost $20 for 3 tacos. No, and we're in Mexico. No, not to say that we want to like be cheap and not pay them a fair amount, but $13 for 3 tacos? No, no. So I'm like, well, they have beer. I like the beers in Mexico. They're pretty good. I usually get a beer when I go to Mexico. So I'm like, let me get a Sol. Right, I like Sol beers. So I got a Sol that was like $3. I think maybe four at most, and I gave the guy like a tip, or my friends paid him a tip for me. It's like $2. So it's called like $5 for a beer. That's decent. A bottle, right? A beer, and it came with a lime, so it's nice and citrusy. It was good. It was good. And then my friends did get tacos, and I split one fresh taco with my friend, one of my friends, and it was good. They had this hot sauce. It was fire. It was like legit fire. It was hot, but it was so good and robust. He says the habaneros in there and the garlic and the onions. It was like green, like verde salsa. So good. So we ate that and it was good, but $13 good, no. Again, absolutely not. They saw we were like foreigners. I'm like, okay, we're gonna give you the American menu. $13, 3 tacos. And then some of my friends ordered like margaritas. They were okay. They're like, oh, we don't have power right now, so we can't do frozen drinks. We can only do like ice and drinks. And the margaritas came in these huge cups, but they tasted like nothing. I would not recommend it. Nope, not good, not good. But it was a local beach, and so we were there taking pictures and stuff. And I wanted to get in the water because the water was so pretty, but the driver lied to us. He told us this beach had no seaweed, but there's a lot of seaweed. Not the worst, but it was a lot of like stuff in the water. I think it was more than seaweed. It was like seagrass, all kind of stuff, and a little bit of trash as well. There was some trash like bottles and some other stuff, but it wasn't too bad. Where like you would see it all the time, but there was a few things in the water you could see like bobbing the
around.
beach was here, and then you had like a big line of rocks, or like a shelf. They were flat though. There were these flat rocks in the middle, and it was like a barrier, almost like a kiddie pool versus adult pool situation. It was really cool. And some people, it was the water, the rocks were flat. Some people sat on them. It was like separation between the calm part of the ocean and then the really huge waves, like perfect for surfing. Waves were crashing against these rocks, and then where we were, the left over of those huge waves kind of just eased their way in. So it was really cool. We could sit and watch all the waves crash into these rocks while we're sitting like just a few like feet away, and the after effects, just the after splash just hit you.
So I really liked that beach. It was nice. And then we got some local people to want to take pictures with us. Some local guys, they wanted to take photos with us and stuff. So it was
We're at the
interesting.
beach from maybe like 1 to like 5:30 because we had to be back at the ship. Ship left at 7. So we try to get back to the port by like 6:20, 6:30 the latest. So we got back to the port around I'll say 6. Yeah, so an hour before we had to be back on. Then we went to the because Cozumel, the port has all these different little shops. A lot of stuff's overpriced there, but we did find like a place that had the keychains. And do I have that with me? No, I don't have it with me. But my friend from LA, she got us all like matching keychains. Just I wanted something to for us to remember to remember the trip by, and she got us very sweet of her to get us all like these little mini keychains. They're like little drums. And we did that, and then we walked back to the ship. We
Talk to
left
people
around
because I have
7:15. Got back on the ship, and I was just like exhausted. The Cosmo sun was very hot, and swimming and being in the ocean all day. I was tired. Also, I didn't sleep a lot the night before or the nights before. I wasn't sleeping a lot on the cruise. My bed was pretty comfortable. Um, but I was just wasn't sleeping that well. And I was pretty drained at this time. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. I am not going to dinner tonight. Nope, not going to dinner. I'm gonna take off my bathing suit, change to some shorts and some tank top. Oh, I also made us like matching tank tops. And yeah, bring it to the buffet. I'm not doing but it was like 7:30 by that time, right? And dinner ends at 9. Would have to All 7 of us would have to take showers, get ready. And that night we were wearing supposed to wear red. But I was like, sorry, I felt bad. I was like, sorry you brought a red dress for this night, but Mo is tired. Mo's done for the day. I'm not capable, even if I wanted to, take a shower, put makeup on, fix my hair, and then go to dinner all within like 40 minutes. Not happening. Nope, not gonna happen. So let's go to the buffet, and just like talk about the day and just unwind. So not all of us, but most of us went to the buffet. Um, and it was nice. We just like sat back. I was really I got a tan, and I was just like, yeah, the sun beat me today. I'm very tired, and the food was very good. We had some really good fish, and it was really nice that night. And then they had like these theme parties. Again, like I said, Carnival, the sunrise was from hell. That this cruise we were on was from hell. However, I will give Carnival, like I said, they do know how to throw a good party. Yeah, parties were great. Or the cruise director knows how to do parties very well. It was fun. So this night I believe it was 80s or 70s night. I think it was 70s. And so they had like a 70s themed party on like the Lido deck by the pools. And we went up there and we were dancing. It was so fun and singing along, like almost like mini karaoke. It was really fun. So we really, really, really loved that. That was great. That was like one of the again, one of the highlights of the very few moments or few occasions of pure joy that we had on this trip. So we went to the party for maybe like 35 minutes or so. Yeah, 35 minutes or so, and just like danced and sang and had a great time. And then you know what we did after that. I know you. Let's see. What do you think? Where do you think we went? Of course, the club. The club. It's the club, the club, the club. Um, yeah, we went back to the club. It was because the night before was like I said, it was like a drag race meet twerk battle meet like nostalgic hits. It was great. It was so great. And I want to see if
those same people would come back again, which they did, but it wasn't as epic. It wasn't a showdown of like twerk all out twerk war. It wasn't about it. It was twerk war. um, and it wasn't like that again. But it was good. It was still good. And they also had like Latin night, so we did catch Latin night at the club before they switched it to like regular club night. And this night there's a lot more like younger like college kids. So it was cool. It was a lot more young people. I think everybody heard about the twerk war the night before because it was epic, epic night. And we went and we danced and we were there again till like 2 when it was about to close. And then we were exhausted, so we went back to bed. And this again was the last. This then led into the last day, and it was day at sea. And yeah, I was a wreck. I was so tired. I was physically drained, emotionally drained. I was drained from Carnival. I was drained from the snowball of disasters that kept happening, and Carnival very rarely intervened to stop these disasters that were very much out of our control and something that they could have fixed or even offered something towards it. But
Drained
also
I
to like the
was.
personal stuff that's going on. But the at sea, I just literally did nothing. I was supposed to go to the gym. I was like, I went to the gym every day on the cruise. I didn't make it once. One, I was tired. Two, if my room was that dirty, I didn't want to know what the gym looked like because they couldn't keep the rooms clean from the first day. I would imagine what the gym looked like. But eventually, as the stewardess cleaned our room each day, it was decent. We weren't messy people. We try to clean up after ourselves. I didn't want to give them too much work. I know they're working. They work very hard. And this is not anything. This video is something to do with the staff. Really, yes, they looked exhausted. They looked tired. Especially the first days. As the days went on, they got a little more friendly, warmed up to us, maybe. Um, but we could still tell they were very exhausted. Um, so it's nothing against them at all. I think it's just I didn't like how Carnival ran this cruise. I'm not sure if this is all how they run their cruises now, but it wasn't nice at all. It wasn't nice. And if they're treating the guests the way they treat us, imagine how they're treating the staff. I would imagine how awful they're treating the staff because they treated us like crap. Um, yeah, so day at sea, we didn't do much. Literally chilled out in the sun and did nothing. Ate way too much. And just chilled. I did the buffet again. I was over at this point. I was over getting dressed. I was like, I'm not putting on another dress. Nope, not doing it. I'm tired. But we did find brunch, which was great. Brunch was very good. It was very good. It's like a redemption of food. It was good for the first day. First day food was bad. And we just just like we had a girls' day, and just chilled and just reflected on like the disasters that we experienced and that we're stronger now because we survived those horrible experiences at the hands of Carnival. Um and yeah, we just like chilled out. And then disaster number, I've lost count. What? Disaster 30, 29, maybe? Yeah, 29 or 30. So remember how like one of our friends had to get on a Key West. So it's now nighttime. Like I said, the whole day we just bugged out. We didn't do anything. We just like chilled out, laid out in the sun, read. We went to karaoke. That was great. Karaoke was fun. Um Yeah, we just didn't do much. We did a scavenger hunt because like my maid of honor, my best friend, she did like she had like a scavenger hunt as part of our like baskets and stuff, and we were trying to fill that out. Some of it I did find. So we're trying to like do the scavenger hunt, kind of just do a lot more like bachelor little like parties, and we didn't do my party, but we did like bachelor activities and stuff together. So we're trying to keep that theme as well alive. And so now it's nighttime. We did lunch. We did brunch. Dinner did buffet. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. We did catch one show finally. It was like The World Works Here, where they like showed represented all the countries of people who worked there. Of course, Jamaica. Everybody cheered for Jamaica. Everybody did. Thank you very much. But everybody cheered for Jamaica. It was really it like made me so prideful, of our little country, our little Talawa island. So that was really cool. That's the only show we got to see. So we did that, did the buffet. Then, you gotta have your bags out at a certain time so they can pick it up. So we went to our room, got our bags ready. Then we got this letter on our door, and they're like, the person who got on at Key West has to leave at 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, 6:30 in the what do you mean 6:30 in the morning? I'm very confused. Why would they need to get off at 6:30 in the morning? That makes no sense at all. So we went to our favorite place on the cruise, guest services. Still no smiles. They still looked like they were annoyed by us, but that's okay. Um, so we're just like, yeah, explain. Don't understand why this. Are you sure? Why 6:30? I'm like, first of all, we don't even get to Miami on the itinerary till like 8. So are you dropping? Like, where are you dropping? Why would she get off? How can she get off the cruise at 6:30 when we're not even on land at 6:30? I don't want you putting her on some boat and shipping her back to Key West or something. Like, what? Like, is that what you're gonna do? So they, of course, were agitated and very snappy. They're very snappy with us at guest service. Because we're just literally asking, like, hey, we don't get it. Why? We get there at 7:30 or 8 in the morning. Why 6:30 someone has to get off? And they're like, it's policy, it's procedure, and that we actually get to Miami at like 6:45, not 7:30. They put it there so people will have time to eat breakfast and stuff. I'm like, well, can we eat breakfast together? Like, no, you won't have time. She needs to get off first. I'm like, disaster 32 or whatever number we're on. Just great. What a great way to end our cruise. So we're just like, no, like, I'm not gonna let her get off by herself. We're gonna go with her. But they're like, no, you can't get off with her. She has to get off first, and then you guys can get off at like 7. Same thing. So we were so depressed. My friend was like really sad. I felt sad because she was sad and also was messed up. It didn't make sense to us. They said procedure, but of course, as we have proven and have shown and have explained with the experience we had with Carnival, it was very much like because we said so. I can't give you any policies, any printouts, any reason why where this is coming from. Just because we said so, that's the policy. So that's what flies. There's no, hey, this is let me explain it or break it down why. It's like because we said so. So my friend was really sad because we were gonna go to the club again because the club was our favorite spot, our favorite thing to do in the trip. It was fun. And we had like the funnest time at the club. And so we are gonna go to the club the last night. Just gonna, have a last night. Our flights were until like 3 the next day. So we're like, oh, we have time to like, maybe hang out all night, eat some last minute pizza, stay up all night, eat some stuff, eat desserts and stuff we're not supposed to be eating, but just like do whatever, walk around the ship and just like hang out, have a last girls' night, maybe like hang out each other's room and chill out and stuff. And no. My friend was like, she's like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm so upset. And we're like, we totally get it. But I wouldn't want to leave her by herself. Like, how messed up would that be? Like, hey, yeah, we got this, we got this bad news that affects mostly you, but also affects us. But you go to bed and we're gonna just go to the club and have a good time without you. That would be really horrible. I would feel bad to do that. And also that's not as a friend, to me, that's not how friends treat each other. So I was like, no. I'm also annoyed and upset. I don't know if I go to a club. I go for a little bit and then, walk around the ship for the last time, use any onboard credit I have. And also, again, Carnival did not give us any onboard credit. They didn't give us anything for any of the inconvenience we had. I think two people. So I felt really bad and really sad about my, situation that Carnival again handed us. So I started to like, we had like a little girls like meet, like talk in one of the rooms, just to talk, reflect on our ship. And then I realized another disaster started. I can't talk anymore. Disaster what? 32. One of my friends, she's on the top bunk because they pulled out the bunk from like the ceiling. Guys, her bunk was missing a screw, and she's told me multiple times I asked them to put a screw in in the bunk, but they never did. And so her bed was like not this. Her bed was like this. You could see it literally tilting from the ceiling. Carnival, why? That's so unsafe. Why would you let someone sleep like that? And she's told us, she's asked the stewardess multiple times, "Hey, my bed is missing a screw. Can you fix it for me?" They never fixed it. Oh boy. So we talked a little bit there. Then we're like, yeah, we're going to the club for a little bit. And I did see the last of one of my wines in there. So, but still, it's day 4, and I've had not one. I had like one glass. I had one glass due to, and that was because one of my friends gave me some of my wine. um, which is fine because, like I said, this is for another story time. But I legit got one glass of wine out of all 4 bottles. Um, and so I drank a little bit of that. I was like, "Okay, well, I'll go to the
Well,
club
the
for a
club
little
was
bit."
alright.
It was a lot more like the crowd's a little older that night. I think a lot of the younger people were kinda, like, doing other stuff, or kind of tired. But it was alright. Stayed for maybe, like, 30, 40 minutes. Then I was like, "Yeah, it's, like, 12:30. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired." So I went back upstairs, took a shower, and went to bed, and that was the end of that night. Then from there, we got up the next morning, got dressed, got our stuff out the room, followed our friend down to guest service, our favorite place, at 6:30. And they kept calling us because like you have to be off the ship by 6:30. I'm like, whatever. So they kept calling. It was like 6:20. They were blowing up our room phone, calling, 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 calling. You need to get off the ship. You need to get off the ship now. You need to get off the ship. You need to get off the ship now. Literally yelling in the phone. And because the phone was over, this side of the room, and my bed is on the other side. I could hear them screaming in the phone. Well, not even screaming, but yelling or raising their voice. You need to get off the ship. You need to get off the ship. I don't understand why they talk to us like that. I don't understand Carnival. I don't get it. So my friend is really upset, and I'm annoyed. I'm upset as well, but really annoyed. And just like, why? We didn't even get to even have breakfast. Nothing. Um So we get down to get service. It's like 6:40, 6:35, right? Get on the elevator. People are trying to get off. People are walking around the ship. Everybody's up, right? Most people are up. So we get there, and then we were like, yeah, we still don't get it. Why? And they're like, oh, well, it's this procedure because she got on a different stop. She has to get off first. We have to close out her tenure or whatever. She has to get off first. And we're just like, whatever. So we're like, we can't get off now. They're like, no, you have to wait at least till 7:30 to get off. So my friend is literally just sitting on the bed, on like a couch, waiting, doing nothing. She's not off. She's just sitting there because we're not at port yet. So me and my best friend, we went and got some coffee. We had a little bit of onboard credit left, so we went and got some coffee because we were also like drained, just drained, all types of ways, drained. And then we got coffee, went back up to our room, got our stuff, left. We found one of our pictures, and my best friend bought me that as one of my gifts. You can see it right there, actually, like right there. You can see the picture she got me, and that's a picture of everybody. And I'll insert it so you guys can see a bigger picture of it. It's from the second night when we were in Key West, and I was telling you I was wearing white, they were wearing black. It's from that night. So we got that, and then we got off the ship. It was like 7:45 at that point, 8 o'clock, maybe around 8, closer to 8 a.m. So we got off, and we're like, we met with her up at the port, and she's like, guys, I asked again why I had to get off, and the custom officers were like, why are you down here? They're like, that is not a procedure, it's not a policy, they made that up. They're like, no, you didn't have to get off at 6:30. See what I mean? Like, it was so much back and forth. Like, they would tell us one thing, and then when we went to like any official person in the U.S., they're just like, "No, it's not a thing. They're making it. They're pulling your leg. They're making it up." So that was kind of the frustration. Nothing was ever what it is. It was always based on who you were talking to. An answer could change, And there weren't little answers. There were big answers that really impacted how we felt, impacted our experience, impacted a lot of things. And I really didn't appreciate that. And that is why this is the worst cruise I've ever been on. And yeah, it was the worst. And sadly, it was my bachelorette trip. Um, there were moments of fun for sure. We had some really fun times that I have pictures and videos from that I look back on, and we were like so frustrated with like, Carnival. It just kind of like brought us, it like built a bond with us, and it's just funny because we were just like literally bitching at Carnival the whole time, and it was just funny just to like be there and be like, gosh, this is awful, but just so funny that it's so awful. That's sad. So yeah, I would recommend to not go on Carnival Sunrise or any Carnival ship unless it's one of the brand new ones. I personally don't think I'll ever go on a Carnival ship. Well, none of us are going on a Carnival ship ever again. Period. Unless it's like free, and even then, I would be skeptical because we paid thousands of dollars for this cruise and it was this awful. So what would a free one look like? I don't know. I don't trust it. But yeah, I think I would stick to Carnival. I mean, not Carnival. I'll stick to Royal, and Norwegian, and a lot of the other more maybe more classy or ships. I would have loved to have a great time, of course, on Carnival, but the way the staff treated us, the way the ship looked and felt, it felt grimy. As soon as I got home, I took the longest shower, and that's a whole other story time. Cause it took forever to get home. Forever. To get from Miami to Atlanta. An hour and a half flight. What was supposed to be an hour and a half flight was an 8, almost 9 hour flight. No joke. But as soon as I got home at like midnight or almost 1 in the morning, the next day, I took the longest shower.
Yes, I've
Just
taken it in
scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed. I felt so dirty. So yeah, stay safe, everyone. And again, I do not recommend you go anywhere close to Carnival Sunrise.